It's Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for a big fight. It's time for AEW Double or Nothing 2021, coming to you live in just a few short hours. For those in the US, you can watch it on Bleacher Report Live, and if for those of you who are international, well, you can find it on Fight TV. Now, this event is shaping up to be one of the biggest events of the year in the world of professional wrestling. So many matches, so many surprises, so many things to look forward to on this card. AEW is looking to make an impact tonight with AEW Double or Nothing. Welcome to the Angle Podcast prediction and preview show for AEW Double or Nothing 2021. I'm your host, Joey Karni. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. Stay up to date with all the Angles activity right here on YouTube. Now, Tony Khan said on the latest episode of AEW Unrestricted, which is AEW's podcast, there's a new era, new signings, a new beginning coming to AEW starting tonight with Double or Nothing, leading into the debut of Rampage, and of course, we have Dynamite, Dark, and Elevation, all being moved to TBS later next year, in 2022. Huge news coming out of AEW, but more importantly, there is been some breaking news in the last couple hours or so leading up to tonight's events, and that is that AEW has signed Bear Country and Mark Sterling. So this could be more along the lines of new beginnings, new signings, a new era in AEW. And tonight's event, like I said, is shaping up to be a huge, huge event in the world of professional wrestling. Now, it wouldn't be an AEW pay-per-view if we didn't have the buy-in match. Tonight's buy-in match, or the card is gonna present a match for the NWA Women's World Championship, and that will be Serena Deeb defending her title against Riho. Now, Serena Deeb just coming back from injury, really making an impact on Dynamite, proving that she is really no one to mess with, that she is here to be the longest ever NWA Women's World Champion. And I think tonight she's going to have a huge, huge task ahead of her, and that is to defeat Riho. And I think that with the warpath that she's on right now, being that she just came back from injury, I think tonight Riho just does not have enough in her to get the job done. Tonight on the buy-in, we're going to see Serena Deeb successfully defend her NWA Women's World Championship. Now, like I said, if you are in the United States looking to watch AEW Double or Nothing, you can check it out on Bleacher Report Live. And if you're international, if you're one of AEW's many international fans, you can find that on Fight TV. Now, there's going to be so many things to look for, like I said, so many matches tonight. The first one I want to talk about is Sting and Darby Allin taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. This new attitude of Scorpio Sky, really just separating himself from SCU, now disbanded. Ethan Page looking to get that first huge story in since making his debut in AEW. Darby Allin looking for something to redeem himself after losing that TNT title a few weeks ago to Miro. But the biggest thing out of this match, Sting making his first official in-ring or giving his first in-ring performance, performing in the ring for the first time in front of a live audience in over 6 years. Sting, a veteran in the business, a legend in professional wrestling. Tonight, we're going to see Sting and Darby Allin hopefully get it done against Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. This one is a toss-up for me. I can see both teams taking a win, but it is being Sting's first appearance in a ring in front of a live crowd in over 6 years. I think tonight, Sting and Darby Allin just have more, passion in them to get the job done. So I'm predicting Sting and Darby Allin will get the win over Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, there is a Casino Battle Royal on this pay-per-view, which is, if you don't know what that match is, it's basically a Battle Royal where the winner gets an AEW World Championship match in the future. A lot of big names promoted for this match. We have Christian Cage, is just one of them. And sitting ringside to call this match is Paul White, now formerly known as The Big Show. This match is going to be one to watch because in previous events, the Casino Battle Royal, or really a Battle Royal that they have to name a future number one contender, has given us some huge names. We've seen Brian Cage make his debut here. We've seen in the last pay-per-view, we saw Ethan Page make his debut. So there is a big chance, and there already is a a name on the card that is TBA, it's to be announced, a surprise sort of say for this match. So this can literally be anyone. We know there's been recent WWE releases. I don't know if those dates, they're not up yet with their 90-day no compete clause. That's gonna be in July. But there is a certain goat face legend in the business that is available to make an appearance, and it could be Bryan Danielson or in WWE Daniel Bryan. So there's a huge opportunity here to make an impact in AEW, but more importantly for the fans to get a big surprise, being that it is the biggest event of the year for AEW. So it's really hard to tell who's going to win this match. I would love to see Christian Cage get the win and give himself a future world championship match. Now, one match in particular that I'm looking forward to, it's just an animal versus an animal. It's Miro versus Lance Archer, and this is for the TNT title. And without a shadow of a doubt, Miro is doing the best work that he's ever done in his whole professional wrestling career. I think a little while ago I said that Miro's performance in AEW really wasn't matching his performance in WWE, being that it was Rusev Day. But now, tonight, AEW Double or Nothing, May 30th, 2021. We're all going to be leaving saying it is Miro Day. I'm predicting that Miro is going to get a huge win over Lance Archer, continuing his dominance throughout AEW, really just wreaking havoc over everyone. Miro is going to retain the AEW TNT Championship. One match that I think is going to be the most talked about tonight. Cody Rhodes taking on Anthony Ogogo. This match has got a lot of buzz around it, and maybe not for the best reasons, but this match is going to be one to watch. Cody Rhodes taking on Anthony Ogogo in the recent media briefing for AEW Double or Nothing. When I was able to listen to Cody speak, he said that Anthony Ogogo is really the first developmental talent from AEW. And this is going to be a huge opportunity for him. And this is a statement match. He needs to do well in this match in order to show that there is a future to start a developmental, I guess you can say, developmental PC, sort of like what WWE has in Orlando for AEW. So I think without a shadow of a doubt, Anthony Ogogo has been putting on clinics since making his debut, just laying out everyone, Cody included. So tonight, I think it's going to be Anthony Ogogo getting a huge win over Cody Rhodes. The match that I am looking forward to the most on this card, it is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, defending against the Wild Thing, Jon Moxley, and Eddie Kingston. This match is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Jon Moxley is not a tag team wrestler. We've seen him in successful tag teams throughout his career. Eddie Kingston is not a tag team wrestler. We've seen him in successful tag teams and factions throughout his career. I think this match has the opportunity to steal the card. The Young Bucks doing some of the best work in their entire career, being that they are one of the biggest heels in all professional wrestling. But tonight, Jon Moxley is looking to add another title, another thing to his resume, and that is AEW World Tag Team Champion. He's looking to be the second guy to hold both the AEW World title and the World Tag Team title, second to Kenny Omega. Tonight, I think we're going to see new World Tag Team Champions in Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. These promos have been excellent. This build-up has been excellent. There has been no one to take down the Young Bucks, but tonight, I think it's going to be a new era, like Tony Khan has said, a new era in AEW, giving us new World Tag Team Champions, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. The Women's World Championship match tonight is probably the biggest women's match we've had really for the championship in all of AEW. And it is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on the champion for over 370 days. Over a year long, Hikaru Shida has been the AEW Women's World Championship. This past week on Dynamite, Friday Night Dynamite, there was a new Women's World title introduced. So many people complained the title was small, and myself included thought the same thing. It was a small title. It deserves to have a more powerful effect in terms of look. Tonight, we're going to see a new AEW Women's World Champion. I think that title was just redone to start a new era in AEW. And this past week on Dynamite, Britt Baker said it herself. It's not about being the face of the AEW women's division. It is about being the face of a new era. Nothing to do with 316. It is a new era, DMD. And tonight, I think we're going to see Britt Baker, new AEW Women's World Champion. I'm predicting it now. We're going to see a new Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker. DMD is going to take a win over Hikaru Shida, becoming the new AEW Women's World Champion. Stadium Stampede 2 happening tonight. A match that we didn't think we'd ever see again in AEW. A match that a lot of people were not expecting to ever see. A wrestling match taking place on a football field with a ring in the center of the field. This match has really been the biggest story out of AEW in the last while. The Pinnacle, which is MJF, Wardlow, Shawn Spears, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood, taking on the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho, Le Champion, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. Like I said, Stadium Stampede 2, the second one of its kind. Really, the first one did justice because it was an excellent, excellent match. I'm looking forward to this one. The big thing, the big stipulation in this match tonight, if the Inner Circle loses, they must break up, they must disband. The last match we had between these guys, Blood and Guts, MJF and the Pinnacle got one over on the Inner Circle, tossing Jericho off the cage, dislocating his elbow. We don't know if Jericho is going to be 100% tonight. But if you do know anything about Chris Jericho, if you do know anything about the Inner Circle, they are always prepared. They always got a second plan up their sleeve. They're always ready for these type of situations. They have been running roughshod over AEW since its first episode 2 years ago. Tonight, if this is the end of the Inner Circle, what a run it's been. The memories, the moments, everything that they have done for AEW. Chris Jericho really being the GOAT, going to be going down as the biggest legend ever in AEW, helping create these stars. Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana Ortiz, elevating everybody, really elevating MJF too. If this is the end of the Inner Circle, thank you for everything you've done for not only AEW but pro wrestling. I think tonight, huge moment is going to take place. But if I'm predicting anything, it's going to be the Inner Circle getting a win over the Pinnacle. I think what we saw on Dynamite, the Pinnacle just taking out everyone in an Inner Circle, laying them out, tombstones through or pile drivers through the tables. Tonight, Inner Circle, they're not going down without a fight. They're not going down, period. Tonight, Inner Circle gets the win. They're staying together. I want to see it. You want to see it. I think it's all going to happen tonight. The Inner Circle getting a win over the Pinnacle. The main event of tonight, the first ever triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship in AEW. The Impact World Heavyweight Champion, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, taking on Orange Cassidy and Pac. A match he really created himself. There was a number one contendership match between Orange Cassidy and Pac. He interrupted, laid both guys out. Now it's a triple threat match, like I said, the first ever in AEW. And there's some major things that can come out of this match because Kenny Omega has a match already scheduled for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship against Moose. Is it tonight that we see Moose show up in AEW and cost Kenny Omega? Is this a moment we see someone else come in and cost Kenny Omega? Whatever happens tonight, I think that we are going to see, and still at the end of the night, on the jumbo screens everywhere, and still AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega. I think putting Pac and Orange Cassidy in this match is a brilliant idea. But at the end of the night, we're gonna have AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this whole night, this whole card, stacked with great matches, stacked with major surprises. Tony Khan saying a new era is coming to AEW. And all the matches we just discussed, all the outcomes that I just predicted, I think tonight is going to be the night we see something major in AEW. Now that's about the card. I also want to talk about this show, The Angle Podcast. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. You can see here, The Angle Podcast is available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's available anywhere you want to listen or you follow podcasts. Anywhere that streams podcasts, The Angle Podcast is there. And you can subscribe where you are right now, which is The Angle Podcast on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 500 subscribers, and it is not done without your help. It is not done without your support. So please, if you can, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below a match you're looking forward to most, and honestly, who you think is going to win the match. Now, if you want to get to the home base of the Angle Podcast, you can go to www.theangleradio.com. Everything about the podcast, whether you want to know more about me, why I'm doing this podcast, why I love wrestling, it can all be found there. There's a shop also. You can get some Angle merch. You can get some pro wrestling merch. A lot of stuff available on the Angle Podcast shop. You can check out the major guests. You can check out the blog. So many things. Everything is available to you at the Angle Radio. Now, this past week, I sat down for a major exclusive with recently released WWE talent Alexander Wolf. He explained what happened and where he plans to go with his wrestling career. You can check that out right here on the Angle Podcast YouTube channel. The week before, I sat down with Jazz, the phenom, the legendary Jazz. You know who Jazz is. We spoke about if she would ever go into the WWE Hall of Fame and everything around her career. An excellent, excellent interview. Coming next week, an interview with one of the coolest guys I've ever met in professional wrestling. He's not only cool, he's Caribbean cool. He is a legend, WWE future, hopefully, WWE Hall of Famer. Carlito is going to be on the show. We're going to talk about everything. If he's going to be one of the guys that show up at AEW tonight, if he plans on going back to WWE, where does he plan on going with his professional wrestling career, and his favorite moments in WWE. All this great stuff is happening next week. You can check it out on the Angle Podcast right here on YouTube. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you after the event, AEW Double or Nothing tonight, to talk about the show with a full review and results show. For now, I'm your host, Joey Karni. I will be live tweeting the entire event tonight. AEW Double or Nothing 2021 is coming to you live in just a few short hours, and I think tonight is going to be a great, great night. But more importantly, it's going to be a new era in AEW. I will see you after the show.